everyone, it's Soliloquy here for a change. Back from the Code Red bodying. Yeah, BRIGGZY bodied me, I have to admit that from the gate. I definitely lost to a vet, and I, let myself down, and, it wasn't good. BRIGGZY was very good, and Code Red was very good as well. This isn't just going to be all about me for a change. Yeah, Code Red was an incredible event. We're going to recap that as well. Obviously, I guess just firstly to talk about the battle, what went down in the battle. I know everyone's interested. I'm, haven't really thought about this much, but yeah. So let's just go through it. Obviously, the history that me and BRIGGZY were going to, get involved in this from April, I think, 2017 onward. Done like a short history and recapped the ting, as it were, so we definitely looked back at that. But yeah, it all culminated to this point, to Code Red, till yesterday, and I did feel quite prepared, really. I felt like I knew my stuff well. I'm not going to make any excuses, I should say, because I feel like even if I did know my stuff well, I still would have lost. I thought BRIGGZY was really good in this battle. I have to say that. I think his second and third, especially his third, which was kind of, his battle resume thing. They played the theme. It was great. It was great. It was orchestrated really, really well. He had the microphone, and he addressed why I choked in the first 2 rounds in the third round, which is just, as it was happening, I knew that it was just a huge haymaker. And he had loads of those. He had performance. It was loads and loads of really good stuff. So I think even if I came with it, I wouldn't have been that successful. But yeah, I did feel that I knew it well for what it was. 3 60 seconds round that really I should remember. I don't know why. It just all got a bit too real in the last moment. I think I was quite nervous beforehand, and yeah, I changed the opening line just slightly, just tweaked it slightly, and I think performing and getting a bit of reaction and having to go again, and then people sort of surging up, and I just sort of lost my train of thought, really. And then when I realised I was losing my train of thought, it became even worse, and it was this long sequence of really awkward pausing. And then people were, encouraging, including BRIGGZY Soljitsu. I saw at the back, it said go again, and I sort of, went into it to a certain extent. You can watch it. It's going to be out on the pay-per-view very soon, so definitely check that out. It was, yeah, not something I want to immortalise, but enjoy it, please. A few people were, lovely enough / perhaps foolish enough at the event to say, that they thought the material that I got out was good. And one person argued that maybe I won the first, but no, I choked horribly in the first. Definitely didn't win any of these rounds. And yeah, BRIGGZY was just excellent, as I say. I mean, I'm still sort of processing it, I suppose, to a certain extent. But I knew that I'd have to discuss it on the show straight away. Of course, anybody that I follow, if they, if something like this happened, of course you want to know how it went down. So yeah, just watch for yourself, really. Not proud of it at all. When it comes out officially, Definition is going to come on the show, and we're going to go through it. And I said to him, he's got to be honest, and we are going to, forensically experience how horrific my failures were, and how high BRIGGZY's high were. I thought I had anticipated wrongly that maybe he wouldn't sort of take the whole, so juicy the angle that I do this battle rap podcast, etc. There's so much history, but just doing it in of itself as well is sort of this thing to just poke holes at. So I didn't think maybe he'd go for that, but I think he went for that so well, and exploited it to maximum capabilities. And he was great. He controlled the crowd, as he said in the Gemini episode, which obviously I was competitive in that episode, and I've seen a few people commenting online and stuff and appreciating that, from a certain extent it was sort of, I don't know, personal to some lane, not in a personal sense, but in a personal sense, in a sort of battler persona sort of sense. But I mean, I wasn't taking it too seriously. I just knew it was a good thing for the show. I knew people liked it. People talked about it. So why not feed it to a certain extent? Hence the recaps. Hence just pushing it further and trying to do it in the first place. So there is a small victory in that, getting it to happen. But me being bodied is maybe this Icarus thing. I don't know. But it was just it. I don't know. I should have done better, really. And I do. This could have went better for me. But I think shout out to BRIGGZY, performed excellently. Check out that battle. So yeah, Code Red in general. Thinking about this event, talking to a few people at the events as well. Shout out to Mine. Shout out to Naz. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to all the guys that I see at events. Actually, it's quite weird going and meeting people that you've had on the show. Like I had Michael on from who we did the Ogmios last picnic review, and also saw Neil as well there. We did the Room 101, really good episode, really good early episode. So it's very cool to sort of go and the crowd was good. I think there was a lot of people there from early on. This is Concrete, which I've been to once myself before for Checkpoint 4, and this was slightly different in the sense where the pit was, you know, in the middle, and quite fittingly, almost as the X marks the spot, there was a red, you know, spotlight there, which I think worked well. Kuvu on the decks, you know, sonically it was awesome. I know Carbon was appreciating that especially. It was good to see Carbon actually. We had a quick chat about Terminal, who's he facing, and I turned to him and I said like, oh yeah, he has the most arcane references ever, and I'm go to make my reference and Carbon just says Georgia O'Keeffe, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like Georgia O'Keeffe. I'm like this American, you know, painter of these enlarged feminine flowers and skyscrapers, and yeah, so it was quite funny to have that reference. As I say, Kuvu was spinning, and you know the room was getting filled up, which was good to see. You know, a lot of familiar faces there, a lot of big names as well, including the battlers themselves. The card was stacked, and yeah, soon enough, J Dillon and Kinell went down, which was a really fitting opener. You know, obviously a lot of people were expecting Maverick versus Josiah to go down, which spoilers, didn't go down, unfortunately. You know, Maverick actually performed some of his round to me outside. I was with another guy, and you know, it was awesome, his first, you know, which was addressing directly you know, absence and where Josiah had been for the first battle, and sort of building on that, which was awesome. But yeah, he didn't come, which I don't know the story there, but great shame, and for what it's worth, I think Mav would have won anyway. You know, I think it's like a footballer, you know, it's seasons, it's just the experience that Mav has, which I experienced on the BRIGGZY end as well, you know, but yeah, shame that didn't go down. So the first one we had was Kinell versus J Dillon, which kind of is everything what Kinell versus J Dillon you expect it to be, really. You know, there was brilliant double entendres. Like I said to Lazy Ass Jack at the event, when J Dillon performs around, there's not a word that gets past his grasp that he's not ringing for an extra, you know, pun or four. Like, he is crazy at sort of reimagining setups like that, and I'm personally crazy for that sort of writing. I thought he was really good here. I thought there was a lot of long, dense sections from him that I thought were really, really interesting. And they both have, J Dillon and Kinell, this slightly off-center character to them. There's slightly sort of, you know, left-leaning, you know, left field interests that they both pursue there. So yeah, Kinell as well, I think thrived. It unfortunately had a little bit of a choke, but who am I to criticize? But no, Kinell was excellent as well, and Kinell ended up taking the win, which was awesome to see. But all in all, a really, really good battle. Then me and BRIGGZY are called to the front, and the battle, you know, I think I said to BRIGGZY at the start I wanted it to be, I wanted to go first. I wanted to go first, and he basically said no. He said he'd come the furthest. He was very stubborn. You know, eventually I relented. I was just very, very disorientated to a certain extent. No excuses, as I say, no excuses. But yeah, he went first, which I think is kind of why the third was going to happen when he sort of walked out on the third or whatever like that. So yeah, he went first, delivered quite a normal round from what I remember, sort of addressing our differences, etc., in a kind of calm way. He exerted his physicality. I was a bit of a dick by turning my back. I know, I don't really know why I did that, but yeah, that was kind of a silly move. But he was great. He was really good. And then I went in, sort of fluffed that opening line, as I said. There was a long pause, and then I think I got most of it out or something like that. I think I got a fair bit of reaction, but it was just, yeah, it was a bit of a blur, really. It was just kind of, it was odd having that long pause. Like a few people mentioned to me afterwards, fans of when me and Nathan were doing recordings. I should say, check out some of those recordings. I had some great chats with Quill, P Soldier, Dialect and Frankie, J Dillon and Kinell as well. So definitely check that out. But yeah, a lot of people were saying to me that it was weird that I had a long choke. I think BRIGGZY himself said, come back from the choke and sort of a long bit of material and then another, you know, it was just, yeah, it was horrible. It really wasn't very good. So yeah, went through that, struggled through that, felt awful. You know, it was kind of, I just initially felt I'd let everyone down, and I had the feeling of deflation in the room to a certain extent, and you know, it was awful. Like, I just kind of got swamped by it. Really not proud of it. You can tell I'm laughing to cover the horror. BRIGGZY in his second had the scroll, which I don't really really remember too much about this. I don't think it was just a clever sort of thing to have. And he mentioned the tea bag staining it, and it's just, I don't know. I sort of presented with the bow, and yeah, it was really good. And then again, I choked early in the second, which was like, what the fuck am I doing? Sort of pushed through there. It's weird to sort of go back through your own bars forensically and be like, why did I choke at this word? Why couldn't I? You know, there's again no real excuses here. The third, he leaves the third. I know a lot of people are finding that quite offensive, but I guess it's kind of retort for the smoke break thing. It's some sort of, you know, angle. The battle was sort of in limbo then. No one quite knew what was happening. A lot of people saying just perform your third, which I don't really like. I'm not a battler, you know what I mean? I was just a bit sort of like, what the fuck? I sort of wanted it to end. And then a lookalike is called for, and we, you know, looking for someone who's similar to BRIGGZY, you know, in height or stature or whatever. And shout out Adam, who I've seen at a few events. We met next in line, and his friend was there, who kind of looked a bit like BRIGGZY to a certain extent, with glasses, kind of. You know, ginger gentleman. But we, you know, I tried to pull him on stage. He didn't really want to have on it, which, you know, fair enough. And then some guy stepped up. I think his name was Lewis. I may be misquoting there. I think I saw him comment. But definitely shout out if you're listening, Lewis. Really, really appreciate this. So I need to say it to him personally. But he came out and sort of did Yunnan, and then I sort of did my round, and then Yunnan was watching, and Bagnall sort of orchestrated a quick cut that he'd eventually do to, you know, we'll see how it comes out. But, you know, I just want to let everyone know there are chokes in the battle, long chokes. If they are edited out, thank you, but I don't expect that, of course. But yeah, it was just, yeah, it was a bit of a shit show, really, from me. Obviously, I'd love to be going crazy, even if I just sort of delivered it. It's like, what the fuck, even if I lost. But it's like, to lose in that way, to really beat myself, as, you know, obviously I say BRIGGZY would beat me anyway. But yeah, it's the end of it. I guess we can squash whatever beef there never was. But, you know, it's just, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. But I'm glad that it's concluded. I'm glad that it's over. And now I can sort of, you know, bury it in my subconscious forever. Oh, God, it's actually on YouTube, and I'm doing an episode on it now as well. But, yeah, definitely check that out. If you're listening 5 years in the future, don't forget that this happened, or, you know, maybe do. I'm not sure. But the event continued. The event was awesome. It was great, as I say, to go out with Nathan outside. Shout out to Nathan every single time. He's my right-hand man on the show. He's responsible for Battle Resume as much as I am, man. All the logo designs that he does and all the filming, especially that we do at these events. We didn't necessarily get as many people as I should have got, really. If I'm honest with myself, I was just a bit sort of, not fuck the night or anything like that. I was having a good time, but it was just sort of, you know, so I can't really let things go in that sense, and it was quite hard to. But, you know, look at Woe Is Me here, the interview for Battle Rap. But yeah, so we got a few, as I said before. Look to those coming out soon on the Patreon, which got mentioned in the battle. I hope people get that I'm being ironic, kind of, but, you know, maybe I'm kind of not. But patreon.com/BattleResume, I should say. Get in touch with the show. Are you one of the million fans that are hugely disappointed with my performance? BattleRapResume@gmail.com. Get in touch with me. More pertinent, perhaps, is Twitter, @BattleRapResume. You can follow the show, all the updates, all the upcoming episodes as well. Leave us a review on iTunes, all that sort of stuff. Should have mentioned stuff at the start. But yeah, the event continued, and it was Frankie versus Dialect next, I think, which was a really, really good battle. I had a good angle personally, where I had sort of Frankie facing me in the back of Dialect, and, you know, awesome stuff from both of them, as to be expected. You know, Dialect, I think, especially like his performance level, you know, the mixture that he can bring here, real room shakers mixed with just sort of, you know, a cocksuredness and elegance that he has in the ring. A really spirited performance. I think he was excellent. Frankie as well, you know, is just this, you know, font of writing. Like, you know, where this guy dips his influences and wellsprings from, I always find a wonder. I'm always taking notes, but also just in a sort of harsh punching sense that he seems to have evolved really from the JB battle onwards, really being able to control a crowd and dictate where it's going with his writing. So I fucking loved him in this battle. This is a really, really good battle. Shout out both those guys. And yeah, it kind of washed the bad stain, I think, for the crowd of the prior car crash. So shout out to both those guys. The next battle I missed, unfortunately. We were outside doing interviews, I believe, and this was Blain versus Cojay. Heard a lot of good stuff from both of them. Apparently were really good. Cojay had a slightly questionable third politically. It was hinted at by a crowd member to me, but yeah, be sure to check that out on the pay-per-view. I should say when this comes out, which I'm going to bring out, I think, on the night, the Sunday. So check it out, pay-per-view, code red. I'll put all the links down below. Next up was Bobby versus Quill, which was a late replacement battle for Shox, who was originally meant to be battling Bobby, so this was a one-rounder. This is a fucking excellent battle. I love both of these guys. I think Quill is like this, you know, this samurai sleeping, coming out, doing a one-rounder, retreating back. You know, we haven't seen him for a long, long time, and I think he was excellent in this battle. I think Bobby as well, you know, he's a joy to see live. The energy that he brings, the spirit. I'm such a huge fan of this guy, you know, a massive talent. This is a massive battle for him, and he performed brilliantly. Really, really enjoyed this battle. I think, you know, Quill, the way he punches, it's just kind of an inverse proportionate. I can't quite put, but, you know, it's reference based, but it's very linguistic. Yeah, awesome battle. Really, really good battle. Love this battle. It worked well in the environment as well. I should say that the atmosphere in Code Red was electric. Like, Danny Jack and his crew, you know how to put on the night. Definitely, it had that exciting vibe, real intuitive. Sort of the crowd and the performer were one. You know, having that pit there, like the stage is good to a certain extent for like your really big marquee battles or whatever. But these were huge clashes, and they thrive for it. Tony D versus Jimz. Tony D, from what I gather, was flu-ridden. He was also very high as well, and that is a torturous combination. This is a one-rounder with Jimz. So cool to see Jimz in the flesh. Jimz was excellent. I did have Jimz winning this. It was quite late in the night. I was pretty fucked actually. So I can't remember too much about this, but I enjoyed it. And I think Jimz, especially Tony, had a few. Again, I can't criticize anyone probably anymore on the show for choking because I choked so badly. So Tony choked, but a little bit here and there. Jimz was like, "Come on, you're like the champion." It was quite painful and earnest. But Jimz, I had winning this one. Real Deal versus Raptor. I thought Raptor was excellent. Again, this is a one-rounder, and I think, superb from both of them. It was a treat to see Real Deal live, especially. He performed so well. I think Raptor, again, was excellent. A lot of interesting stuff. He wasn't covering a lot of familiar ground. Again, memory's a little hazy on this one, but yeah, I like Real Deal a lot. And watching him in the crowd as well. He has those sort of moments that you just want to sort of chant back and react to. And yeah, great event, great battle. Don't watch BRIGGZY versus Soliloquy. I should say don't watch it, please. But obviously, if you listen to the show, you're going to watch it. So it's going to be on the pay-per-view first. Check it out. There'll be the links down below. Let me know as well in the comments on Twitter, your thoughts on the battle. Definitely your review of it, maybe, your favourite moment, etc. Share the battle. I'm sort of contradicting what I just said, but I guess it's going to be out there, so you got to embrace it to a certain extent. Yeah, thanks for listening. This has been BattleRapResume. Shout out to everyone that I saw yesterday, who both battled, interviewed, and also just at the event in general. It was awesome to get the interviews, and I think Gemini was doing a vlog there as well, so definitely check out his YouTube channel. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'll find it and put it in the description, but shout out Gemini and his channel as well. I think he's got a sort of Danny doing an impression of Dialect for a whole interview, some sort of video like that. So definitely check that out. That's going to be really interesting. So BattleRapResume, we're going to keep going, even though I don't know. I was contemplating shutting down the channel yesterday, but I think we got to carry on. There's too many interviews that I haven't done yet, so comment below as well. Who should I get on the show? Who do you really want to see on the show? I mean, the show's been going for like 110 episodes or so. We've done a fuckload of episodes, man. So let me know down below who you want to see on the show. I can pretty much get everyone now. I always just send them a Saurus clip. I'm like, look, I've had Saurus on, but everyone wants to do it, which is really good to see. So let me know down below, and most likely I will have them on in the next few months or so. So yeah, at BattleRapResume, we will be doing further coverage of the BRIGGZY battle. This was more just a quick thing to bring out, but yeah, we are going to go through bar by bar. Yeah, it's going to be... check out the Patreon. It'll be on there first. This is Tom, BattleRapResume, Soliloquy, for the last time, signing out. Bye.